We see robots doing all these incredible things, but have you ever stopped to wonder how they actually see or feel the world around them? Well, today, we're diving into the sensory systems that give robots their intelligence.
I mean, think about it. We've got robots building our cars with pinpoint accuracy, and we've got rovers navigating the surface of Mars. But what's really going on under the hood? How does a pile of metal and wires become an interactive machine that can actually perceive its environment? That's the big question we're going to unpack right now.
The easiest way to wrap your head around it is this. Sensors are the robot's version of eyes, ears, and skin. They are the gateways to perception. Without them, a robot is just blindly following code. But with them, it starts to become an intelligent system that can actually interact with the world.
All right, so let's kick things off with the sense we humans rely on the most, vision. For a robot, seeing isn't just about sticking a camera on its head. It's about the super complex process of understanding what that camera is actually looking at.
So, a vision sensor, it's basically a robot's eye and its brain working in perfect harmony. The camera gets the raw footage, sure, but the real magic is in the image processing. That's where complex algorithms tear apart that data to identify objects, recognize patterns, and even track motion. And this stuff isn't science fiction, it's happening all around us. An autonomous car absolutely has to know the difference between a red light and a green one. An industrial robot needs to spot a microscopic flaw on a product whizzing by. And hey, for a humanoid robot to feel natural, it needs to be able to recognize our faces and gestures.
Okay, but seeing is one thing. What about sensing something that's right there, but you don't want to bump into it? Well, this brings us to what you could call a robot's sixth sense, proximity. It's all about detecting things without any physical contact.
So here's the key difference. Vision is all about identifying what something is. A proximity sensor? It has a much simpler job. It's just trying to figure out if something is there. It basically shouts out a signal, like infrared light or a sound wave, and then listens for the echo to see if anything is in the way.
Oh, and you have absolutely seen this tech in action. It's how your robot vacuum glides around your living room without constantly crashing into the couch. It's how a drone knows exactly how high it is off the ground. And it is mission critical for those robots zooming around warehouses, making sure they don't run into anything or anyone.
So let's just nail this down because it's important. Vision answers the question, what am I looking at? It's for recognition. Proximity, on the other hand, answers a much simpler question, is something there? Yes or no? It's for detection. You need both to get around safely.
All right, so our robot can see stuff and it can avoid bumping into things. Awesome! But what happens when it actually needs to touch something? To interact with an object physically? That's where a sense of touch becomes crucial.
This is where tactile sensors come in, and they're all about that physical feedback. They let a robot measure exactly how much force it's using when it grabs or pushes something. It's the difference between picking up an egg and, well, making an omelet by accident. And some of the uses for this are just, wow. We're talking about robotic hands that can handle super fragile glassware without a single crack. Or, even more mind-blowing, surgical robots that can apply the perfect, precise amount of pressure during an operation. This sense of touch gives them a level of dexterity that's just incredible. But it doesn't stop with sight and touch. Robots can also sense things that are invisible to us, like picking up on subtle changes in temperature or hearing specific sounds.
Let's take temperature sensors. These are basically heat detectors. They let a firefighting bot walk into a burning building and find the hottest spots, the source of the fire. And then you've got sound sensors. Think of them as super-powered microphones. A security bot can use them to hear the sound of an alarm and immediately know something's wrong.
Okay, so let's pull it all together. We've got these 5 core ways robots perceive the world. We've got vision for recognizing things, proximity for just detecting if they're there, tactile for physical touch, and then those unseen senses, temperature and sound, for understanding the environment.
And really, that's the whole point. All of these senses, they're what transform a dumb machine into an adaptive, intelligent system. The robot takes all this data from all these different sensors and fuses it together to build one clear picture of what's happening. And that is what lets it respond to our crazy, messy, unpredictable world.
And that kind of leaves us with this one big, fascinating question. We built these sensors to be like ours, but in many ways, they're already way more powerful. So as they get even better, what are robots going to be able to perceive that's completely outside our own human experience? Definitely something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.